So how are you, man? How's it going?
Doing all right. It's got, I think, just under 6 weeks now. So,
Yeah. Which show's that again?
it's the what's the name of it? It's Two Bros. Bad with the name. MK. That's it.
Yeah.
MK Two Bros. So we're doing the classic physique beginners, and then I'm gonna do the height category as well, just to see sort of where I stand with like other people that's probably doing it more regularly. Because it's first time doing this class, so see how we get on.
Yeah, testing it out. So no more board shorts ever again. Or we did some
Nah.
board shorts. We retired them.
Said after last year, because managed to get top 10, so I was like, that'll do. And I didn't. Posing's just not for me.
Yeah, it's a bit more. I don't want to say bikini, but it's a bit more like, when you watch a bikini contest, it's a lot more about like the flourishes and stuff.
I mean, it is supposed to be a beach look, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, it's not for me. Classic's good.
Moved up a class.
Free rating, isn't it? It's pretty much what you can do. Obviously, you got to do all the mandatories and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
as individual, you can pretty much do the pose how you like to do it. So it's good.
yeah, it gives you a bit more freedom.
Yeah, it's decent. Although it's nerve-wracking a minute on stage.
Yeah, you feel like you're going in a little bit with some nerves, or?
I think the posing coach that I've got, then I'd have been fucking shitting it because it's just like having a platform to do some round. But like, I'm quite good with my posing. It's just obviously putting it out back to back, having like a routine. Obviously, you don't want to just be stood there thinking, oh yeah, what do I do next? But I don't think, because it's like free reign, like I said, you can pretty much, if you do make a mistake, you could hide it and do.
Yeah, you can wing it.
Yeah, so it'll be all right.
Cool. Who is your posing coach?
The posing coach is Alex Fong, so I think it's at AL Fitness on Instagram.
We'll put him in the bio. Put him in the link. We get people shout outs on this show, even though we get like 2 viewers. People shout outs. So how long have you been on prep now?
So I started the first week of Jan. So we sort of came out of like, we say you started prep, but we sort of like tailored out from the highest point of my bulk to like a reasonable starting point. So I'm trying to think how many weeks it's been. How many weeks have been in lockdown now?
Mate, I've lost track. I'm not going to lie.
12, 13, 14 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe weeks, I don't know. But yeah, so we've got just under 6 weeks. I'd say the total prep for this first show will be about 14 to 15 weeks.
Nice.
I always drop very, very steadily to start with, but obviously it starts to come in quite quick towards the end. So
yeah. Rather than just the immediate drop and then having to mess around with things. You find
like
my
my coach always says to me, like, I'm not difficult, but I seem to hold my shape quite well, but I don't seem to drop body fat that quick.
Yeah.
So like I'm like killing myself with the cardio and stuff, but I suppose that's just the body type and what you got to do. But
yeah. How much cardio are you doing? You're doing a lot.
I'm doing 60 minutes in the morning and 35 at night at the minute. Which isn't, to be fair, the first prep I did like, in the end I was doing 2.5 hours. So yeah, it's not bad at the minute.
Cardio, bro.
Yeah. The shit thing is though, is it's on a fucking shitty stationary bike. So it's hard. It's better to go just set the pace and walk, whereas on these bikes you got to generate the speed and try and like maintain the rhythm. But
boring as fuck as well, because you're pedaling and just going nowhere.
Yeah, like I'd much rather get that. I still think it does the same. Like, I know in theory it is, but you'll slow down when you want to slow down. So like that's why treadmills and steppers are good, because it's just continuously running. So you just got to stick at the base.
Yeah, there was a point where I used to love the Stairmaster. I used to be my baby, and now
I think
it frightens me.
It's so easy to get like your heart rate to like the fat burning zone, isn't it? It's like 130, 140. You don't have to work. You do work hard, but you don't have to like overexert yourself to get that sort of heart. No, I definitely prefer that. So when the gyms are open, I'll have at least 4 or 5 weeks. 4 weeks of using the cardio there.
So how's it been prepping while we've been in lockdown? Because obviously I know you've got for anyone that doesn't know, he's got like a little garage gym set up, but that's all you've had access to, isn't it? So it's been like, it's, to be fair, it's because I've invested a bit in it this time. It's pretty much covered everything I needed. The only thing that you lack on is like, you can't really replace like a leg press or anything like that. So it's been a lot of squatting.
But to be fair, it's been good because I didn't do much squatting for the last prep. It's forced me to do stuff that I probably should have been doing, so I have started doing them. But I think like having nothing to do and going out for meals and that as well, that's probably helped.
Yeah.
So I think I could have quite easily said, no, I'm not doing it and wait till the gym's open, but I think it's just something to focus on. The way the shows have fallen anyway, it's all worked out nicely. And like I was meant to get married I'm going to fly to go get married on the 26th of May. So obviously with that being moved to next year, it's just worked out perfectly to like a good
give you more time.
It's good. It's going all right to be fair.
Pushed it. Have you found your legs are kind of holding a little bit firmer because you're squatting rather than leg pressing, or?
Compared to the first time, I can't really compare because my legs are much better than that first show. Like the whole I was pretty much focusing on legs, mostly 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week, depending on recovery. So my legs, I don't know if I can go off saying that's just squatting, or we have done a lot of squats, so I'd probably say but no, I think just the focus of the off season being on legs has made a huge difference.
Yeah,
can't deny that squats don't have those big legs. So
yeah, I can't really. I've not seen very many people with a big squat that don't have big legs, apart from like the occasional freak. Have you seen like? There's always that one kid at the gym that's built like a pencil, but he's got like 4 fucking plates of size on a squat, and he's squatting to depth. And you just look at him like, "The fuck are you doing that?"
There's one of my mates actually. I was trying to shout him out.
That'll be him. That'll be him.
Yeah, he's got like stick thing legs, but he can squat a decent amount. To
yeah, no, I was thinking about a kid at Rezo, so I bet it is him.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
What a guy. So, Rezo, when it reopens, they've made a few changes now, haven't they?
I think they got a few.
I've had a look on Instagram, like they've been doing a bit of work there.
Yeah, I think they're trying to reinvest the continuous members paying for lockdown. That's they're trying to give them something back, I guess.
Yeah.
They're trying to do this, but like the last lockdown, they did a hell of a lot. So
yeah, I know. I walked back in after the first lockdown. I was like, they've taken like the entire CrossFit part and like cut it in half.
Yeah, so, which is always a good thing.
Oh yeah, more dumbbells, good. Less CrossFit rig. Excellent.
Yeah, so, it's good. They're definitely trying to improve in that way. So it's decent. Yeah.
Kushti, right, we're going to get into like the deeper questions now. So why did you start bodybuilding? What was your inspiration or like your motivation just to be like, I want to be a fucking bodybuilder, me?
Before bodybuilding, it was just about being in shape. And like, it was when I first got with my missus, Hannah, I didn't want to go on holiday with all the family looking like shit. So I started training. So that was the start of it. And then I watched a couple of my mates compete, so like Matty and Danny and all that, and I thought, oh God, it looks amazing. But I never thought I could get into that sort of condition. And then, fuck, I'm going to give it a go. So the following year, that's when I started. But I can't say I ever got into training to be a bodybuilder, but obviously I did it and I loved it. So like ever since then, I wanted to keep doing it. So
yeah,
probably a bit of luck and chance that it sort of went like that. Obviously, PT, and that was like my focus, just looking better. Because I think I know you can have knowledgeable guys that aren't in shape, but it's easy to get clients when you are in shape. But yeah, no, that was the start, and then it just went from there really.
Yeah, you just kind of caught the bug from there.
Yeah, it's really good. Like I've done quite a few like cool things in my life, but like that was definitely one of my favourite moments, just being on stage and then like spending all your time with your family after, because it's been such a long drawn out process. It is rewarding. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. What are you like on prep? Are you a dickhead on prep, or are you still like quite nice and friendly and stuff? Because so far you've been all right, but the nitty gritty last 6 weeks, do you turn into a bit of a knobhead with misses, or do you manage to sustain?
No, I'm pretty good. Like I think I'm definitely snappy at times, and like a bit short. Like I'm quite relaxed generally anyway, but it's more just like little irritations, like, and it's from certain people that just continuously do it even when you're not in prep anyway. So yeah. And I'm pretty decent with it. I think the first time was the worst because I was stressing about, was I ready or was I on track to be there on time? So yeah. But then like when I did the finals, I was sort of already in shape and I knew what it was all about. So I was quite chilled out for the second time. I've been quite relaxed this time. I think my only stress this time is I think I've got the right shape and proportions to compete in Classic, but obviously there's going to be bigger guys than me. So it's just trying to be blown out the water by some of the older and bigger guys.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Classic though. Is the mass monsters normally don't get rewarded for being. You know, you're not in a Classic physique to be a big guy. So normally you get away with it. But
you're not getting judged on your proportions and your symmetry, and obviously your posing's a big part of it. Whereas in physique, I think you just have they get judged a little bit on it, but I think you all pretty much look the same, and it's very hard to elude away from being too different, other than the transitions.
Yeah, I can never pick a winner if I've ever watched a physique show. Like I watched a couple of Back Up Body Power back in the day, and you could never pick a winner. The guy that I had winning came 8th, and the guy that I had at 12th won. It's fucking madness.
That's a bit like that, but I suppose you got his preference, isn't it? And also you got to know what you're looking at and what you can follow. Because we just look at physiques and think, oh yeah, he's got a good physique. He's in shape. So yeah, no, I'm excited for it. Like it's cool because, like I said, I've never been able to vacuum. So this whole prep, every single day I've been vacuuming. I don't do it anymore now because I can do it, but I couldn't believe the fact that I couldn't do it, and I can do it all the time now. So that's pretty.
Do it on command.
Yeah, that's cool.
Decent.
Yeah, different. It's good.
Yeah. Do you feel like that improves your physique when you pull off the vacuum? Because some people, like when they pull off a vacuum, it takes away from the physique, and then some people when they pull off a vacuum, like it just makes everything look fucking better.
I think it definitely looks better. I think it's, isn't it? So for me, like my waist gets small anyway, but I think from doing the vacuum training as well, it's made it even tighter. So yeah, I'd say it's definitely a positive. It looks to me, but that's just to me, isn't it? So I don't think you have to be able to do it to be able to go into Classic. But it is a Classic look, isn't it? So
yeah, it helps you display your physique in a different way. Although if everybody can do a vacuum at the same time, you all display it the same. Yeah.
You've still got to flex your abs, haven't you, beforehand? So they're looking at your so you need to do that first and foremost, and obviously you can pull into the vacuum poses you want to. But yeah, I think you've still got to make sure your abs are tight and show them so they can see your condition. Yeah.
Gosh, D. Were you going to do a PCA one as well?
Yeah, so initially that was the first show. And that's why we kind of adjusted the training, because it would have technically been in like 3 weeks' time, which I probably wouldn't be ready for. But obviously we slowed it all down because the next show was much further away. So that was the Northwest PCA, which was meant to be in Manchester, and now it's in Liverpool on the 18th of July. So it's quite a big gap between. Yeah. But I said if I do the 2 bros and I feel like I could have maybe done more, I'll probably do like another 2 bros in June and then do the PCA in July. But definitely doing the PCA, because I think they have a bit more requirements for different poses in the mandatories and stuff like that. So it's just interesting the variations of it and see if I suit that more or do I suit 2 bros more.
Yeah, they do have very different looks. The PCA, the 2 bros Classic, even though it's Classic, they're both very, very different.
I think going off what I've seen, I might be wrong, but I think PCA is a bit more muscular. Like the poses are more muscular as well.
Yeah, from what I saw, I watched Dom compete in the Classic last year, 2020. I think it was during the second lockdown, because we've had that fucking many now. And was watching the live stream, and what we noticed was there were some guys that were fucking spot on, like Classic, and there was also a couple of guys that were, I don't want to be harsh, I don't want to be a dick, but they were too small to be an open bodybuilder, but their body wasn't Classic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just weren't big enough as a bodybuilder, so they thought, I'll jump into Classic. And it looked a little bit different, and they were more, I mean, they got rewarded for it, to be fair. Like in the PCA, I think he came second or first. And I thought, there's other guys, not even Dom, but there was other guys that just looked more Classic. Like you could see the lines and the structure of them was completely different. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how everyone's looking this time round, and what kind of is there a weight limit? Like, do you have to make weight?
So in my Classic beginners, I believe it's just open. So just beginners. But when I do it's really close as well. Actually, I'll be going on stage at like 12 for my first class, and I'm going back on at like 1:45, I think. But that's the height category. So my height, if I'm the right height and what I think I am, which I think I think it's up to 5'8", so I can be 182 below. So I don't want to creep over that 5 foot mark because it's an extra £10 up.
Yeah.
I think I always say I'm a tall 5'8", but I'm hoping I'm a tall 5'7" point something rather than an 8. But
to be fair, I tell people I'm 5'7", but I'm definitely 5'6", and you're only like a little bit taller than me.
Yeah, that would be 5'7".
We'll be all right, yeah. Just slouch.
But yeah, so I'm 184 now. So I think I'll be well under. But I don't think too far. Like I'm aiming for, in my head, like 172 to 175.
Yeah.
But see what the conditions are like at that point.
What happens, yeah.
Yeah.
Cushy. Next one. What's your hair routine like? Everyone wants to know. This is going to be the main question that people are going to have. Like, what do you do for this? Because it's fucking glorious.
I don't know. I take care of doing it, but where it's like, well, with lockdown and stuff, I just sort of like wake up, push it back, and I'm like, I'm ready. Nah, my girlfriend brushes it for me sometimes.
That's the secret. Get the missus to brush your hair for you.
Yeah, just apparently not supposed to wash long hair too much, so try not to.
Ah.
Hard though when you're doing cardio all the time because you're sweating like mad, so I feel horrible once I get
yeah, you'd be showering every fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially when you start adding the fat burners.
Yeah. Illegal.
Yeah, they're the perfectly legal ones that, you know, we're allowed to take.
We'll just say the naughty boys.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah. What do you say? What was the question? Sorry.
How do you maintain the hair? What's the regime? Do you have a special shampoo for it?
She's using my missus' shampoo.
Steal the missus' stuff. That's the way.
Yeah, she obviously whatever's working for her should be working for me. So just make sure I brush it, and that's it.
Fantastic. Would you ever cut it off? Like, are you going to lose your shit and shave your head?
I always get paranoid if I ever go out with my mates that they're going to do that to me. I might start booking like my own room. No, I don't think I could do it. I think it's too iconic now, isn't it?
Yeah, you are Aquaman now. We need to get you a trident.
I would hate for an opportunity to arise that could, and then I've not got the hair anymore. So I just like it. It's just different, I suppose.
Look, isn't it? Yeah, it's the look.
Maybe.
Power. We need to get you some tattoos now.
I know.
When they open up. Fuck off, Boris. Sick of your shit. So once these shows are out of the way, what's the goal after that? So sort of 2022, 2023. Have you got anything in place where you're like, right, I want to get a pro card, or I want to, you know, win a show, or have you got anything sort of that high up in mind, or is it just a case of seeing how it goes and feeling it out from there?
I'd like to obviously try and go for something like that. I basically, these shows this year is for me to get feedback of what I'd need to do, and it depends on like the extremes that I'd have to go to because I'm not willing to do too much damage to my body to do that. And like I always said, if I like the way I look and the judge says I need to do this and this, I'm not going to change my complete look just to suit one judge's opinion. So I just want to see like how I hold myself this year in these different comps, and I think I will suit it. And if the feedback's that I do suit it, and I could potentially come back in a year or 2 years and have a decent off season and be quite competitive, then I will. I initially was just going to say this was my last year doing any of it because the goal was never to continuously compete, but because I've enjoyed it and I've not experienced it, and I do love everything about Classic, if it goes well, then I'll probably have a fair few shows lined up next year, but that's obviously working around again. I'm getting married in May now, so 31st of May. So the reason why I started prep was going to pick a show before then in May, so then I could go on holiday and get married and that after. But
ready for the wedding, strong.
Yeah, no, everything so far that Classic has entailed. Obviously, I know I've not stepped on the stage for Classic yet. I've loved, so like even the posing and stuff. I've done poses that I never thought I would ever do. So like, it's growing on me more and more, and that's what it's becoming addictive. So
yeah, are you posing every day then? Do you set yourself a certain amount of time to pose every day? And
so I try and do it fast if I've got time, unless I've got a bit of work on. If not, I'll do it every night. I got used to doing it at night time now because my coach is in America, the posing one. So I'm always on like a pretty, not a full stomach, but food in my stomach. And if I can hold the vacuum and poses like that, then I shouldn't have a problem when I'm on the stage on the day. So no, I've liked everything so far. So it's been good.
Beautiful. What's your favourite pose so far then? Like, is it
the one I posted?
One that's yours.
The one, I don't even know what you call it. Sort of like a front double, but on the side twisted.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's a fair few that I've not posted yet that we've been doing and I really like, but like I did post a little bit of the one where I came to the floor, which I've never done. Like I've never done anything like that, but it suited me, and obviously it's going to look better. And that was the first time I actually managed to do it. So it was I like it. They're all good poses. You just got to pick the ones that make you add your weaker points and show you good points, I suppose. But I'd say overhead vacuums is a pretty solid pose.
Nice. I'm not going to get you to do any today. Don't worry. You're fine. Talk plans. May as well talk supplements. This is the Lumberjack Supps podcast.
Yeah.
We may as well talk about supplements. I sent you the carrot cake perform the other day.
It's unreal.
Talk to me about it.
It's amazing. Like, I love carrot cake anyway. So, like, I would be the first person to be disappointed if it was shit, but it's not. Like, I already described, because basically, when you're on prep, probably Don will agree with me, but you do weird stuff for your food because you just get bored of the same thing. So, like, I make my way into like just a paste really with water.
Yeah.
With that carrot cake one, it literally tastes like the ice in between carrot cake. It's amazing. It's actually better as a paste than it is as a shake.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't really drink protein shakes as it is. I normally, like, I'll mix mine in my Greek yogurt, or I'll do what you've done with the paste and that. It does taste better, and Perform's good for that because of how fine it is.
Yeah.
It mixes and it creates well.
To be fair, like as a brand just to use year round, I think Perform's probably the way is probably one of the best. The ISO is pretty good, which I don't think you've currently stocked, do you?
I can get it in, but we've got the Applied Nutrition ISO. I try not to have too many options at the moment, just because you know, sometimes you can spoil people for choice, and all of a sudden they go, I don't know. Yeah. Whereas I'd rather have ones that I really do rate and then just keep them in.
I think the quality of Applied's unbelievable. Like I think certain proteins don't digest very well, but the Applied ISO digest very, very well. Like it's worse than having a shake and it sits in your stomach for a while, especially like when you want to go pose or you want to see how your condition is in your abs and that, and you can't really like tighten up because of it. So it's the Applied Nutrition is good for that, like really good for it. And even their standard way as well is just decent as well. So they're good supplements.
The All Black everything, the ABE, the pre-workout. I don't know what it is about it, but it's one of those hit and miss pre-workouts. Like, it's good when it's good, but then every now and then you'll take a scoop and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I keep bashing my fucking elbows, my ears and shit. Like, it's almost as if the dosages haven't mixed quite right in the tub.
Yeah, so
you've got like, sometimes you've got like a fucking 300 milligram of caffeine and a gram of beta-alanine, and other times it's flipped on its head.
Yeah. It is decent. I just, with the stims at the minute, I've sort of reined back on them. I'm just sticking with my pumps because I know when prep gets tougher and tougher, and when I need something to do something. So if I'm constantly like loading myself with caffeine at the minute, it doesn't do anything. So like I've come like now, and I'm just going to reintroduce it later into prep when I'm going to need it.
Flag a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like with what was I going to say? Which pump? Oh, sorry, the nootropic you sent me.
Yeah.
I think that's bang on, and I think as a later in prep sort of supplement, I think it's fantastic because it does change your focus a little bit, and it obviously has a bit of pump product in there, and it has a bit of, like, as an all-in-one supplement for prep. I think it's absolutely bang on that. It's really...
I love nootropics just as they are. Like, I know this one's more of a pre-workout nootropic, so it's the black market adrenaline nootropic, if you are wondering which one I'm talking about. That one, because it's got stim and pump in there as well as a pre-workout, it's insane. But just in general, nootropics, like, because I know, personally, I've never prepped. I've dieted before, but never to the extreme. So I can't comment or speculate, but other people I have spoken to that have prepped, they talk about like the prep fog, the brain fog.
Yeah.
When you're getting really deep into a prep, you just kind of sort of hazy and glaze through things. Nootropics can really cut into that and make things just a little bit more manageable when you're trying to think about things and focus on things.
You're sort of unaware of what it does, but obviously with your cognitives, it does work. Like, the thing is as well with that, you'd expect to come down off it.
Yeah.
You don't actually get one.
No.
So definitely, I agree with that. I think rather than looking at something that's going to blow your head off, just look at something that can maybe change your focus a little bit.
Yeah. The last thing you want to do when you're already feeling shit is load up on stims for that hour's worth of training or hour and a half worth of training and start to come down. And then all of a sudden, your appetite's battered, so you can't eat your post-workout meal. Yeah. You feel like shit, you have to go to sleep. You've missed 2 meals all of a sudden, and then you're playing catch-up.
For me, it's worse because it's not that I'll miss my first workout, but I think when I feel like that, I want to eat something bad. Like,
yeah,
obviously I won't, but like then you get into a bad sort of like bad moment where you're just constantly thinking about what's in the fridge, what can I eat, and stuff like that. Yeah. So definitely, I'd avoid anything that has a bad come down like that.
Have a little mental battle.
To be fair, anything you've sent me that I've not had experience that. Just from like the Conte Sports stuff. And
yeah, I don't think I've sent you anything that's crazy. To be honest, I don't really stock anything that's crazy high stim. Just because I don't like it. And I'm really selfish and I only want to stock stuff that I like.
When I like tell people about the brand, the Lumberjacks, I just say only stock stuff worth having. So if it's not there, it might be a good product, the odd one here and there, but the majority are probably not worth having. And I think that's good, really, because I think so loads of places just sell quantities of shite, really. And they put a good description on it so that it sells, and that's basically it. Like, from a money point of view, yeah, fair enough.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a money game, isn't it, the supplement industry? It's not actually to help anybody. Like, I know, they can help people and you want to help people, but a lot of supplement companies, that's not why they've started it, is so they can make money.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to do now is just find companies that's their secondary goal, is to make money. Like HR Labs, like I'll order a bunch of stuff off him and he won't invoice me for like fucking 6 or 7 weeks. And he's like, oh yeah, bro, sorry, I forgot you need to pay me, don't you?
Yeah.
It's more about getting his products out there because he knows that they can help people, which I think is awesome.
I think the HR Labs is actually very nice. What did I have? The Hydrate, is it? The electrolytes? You send me
Basic.
That's it.
Basic, yeah. That's one of my highest. I think that's one of my favourite products, to be honest. The Basic.
I mean, it tastes good as well, but I'm bad with names of products. But that was a good product to sell. I think in terms of like your performance endurance throughout a session.
Yeah.
It definitely saw an improvement. The only reason I'd probably reduce on it is for any of them extra little sweeteners and stuff, which I tend to cut out after a certain point.
Yeah.
Definitely a good product. And like I said, though, anything you've stocked is worth having. It's just the times in which you choose to use it. Like there's the HR Labs dextrin, I think you sent me.
Oh, the Level Up.
Yeah, see, yeah. I'd definitely use that in my off season, I think. I've reduced my dextrin now and I don't actually have it anymore. But definitely for like an off season sort of something, I think that'd be really, really good.
Yeah.
Be good.
Brad rates that as well, to be fair. Brad enjoys the Level Up. The problem with I don't want to say the problem because it's not a problem, but it's just very expensive. But it's because of how many ingredients are in there. So it's not a product where you have to have it because it's gonna completely change your life, but it will improve the way that you train and how well you perform. But it does come at a price, and it's quite a hefty price for a lot of people to pay. So if you're serious about it, then definitely. But I have seen that he's just done his own. It's like a smaller version of Level Up. So I think it's just cyclic dextrin and a couple of other things.
Yeah.
As like an affordable version.
Yeah. I think, like I said, it depends on how serious. I don't think you have to have dextrin diet to progress. But obviously, if you're training for periods that you need to sustain energy for and feed your body, then use it. But I think it's just easy to consume, isn't it? Like, have anything against someone eating a banana mid-session, if I'm being honest. But I suppose it is just the fact that you can keep sipping, you can keep hydrating. You don't really think about having to have it or anything like that, or letting it digest. It's pretty quick, isn't it? So
Yeah, well, the thing about clustered dextrin is it doesn't sit heavy in your stomach like a lot of other things. Like I've had dextrose and maltodextrin, and they are hideous for me personally. Like some people, they're completely fine on it, and if you are, it's a cheaper alternative. Then go nuts. If it sits well in your stomach, crack on. But for a lot of people, clustered dextrin, it doesn't sit as heavy, so you don't feel as lethargic. So you can still actually train at a decent level without feeling like shit or lethargic.
I mean, I don't know the actual sciences behind it, but I think the cyclodextrin is probably a better quality of carb source, isn't it?
Yeah, but it filters out of your stomach faster. That's the easiest way to kind of explain it, which is why it won't sit as heavy in your stomach.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, to be honest. In terms of nutritional value, carbs are carb. If we're going to go as basic as we get, you're going to increase your carbohydrate intake while you're working out. That's fine. But it's more the performance that you get from that makes the difference in terms of quality.
Yeah, that's the big thing I've changed. That's been different with this prep and my first prep is I used to think I need to feel, and in the end I will, but to feel depleted and tired all the time.
Yeah, you feel like you need to suffer.
Yeah, and like my calorie expenditure was decreasing. So obviously the coach I'm working with, we decided to change it a little bit and like try and increase performance as opposed to have to decrease it to recover.
Yeah.
But you got to change your nutritional side of things to suit that. But the calorie expenditure was far greater after doing that. So my weight loss and my fat loss was even better after doing that. So that's where I differ. I think to get to them final stages of being, lean and peeled, then you do have to push it to them extremes. But obviously it's picking the right time to decide to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you go all in from day one, what can you manipulate when you start?
You need to like have something to be able to add in next, so it's a constant progression. Or you're gonna have times where you plateau, I suppose, or you feel like your weight's not coming off. But as long as in the long term there's a continuous progression to where you want to go, then that's the main thing. But I think I'm coming to that point now though where it is
kind of stall a little bit.
Yeah. Craving a lot of stuff, but it's nothing I've not done before. I think a lot of people though expect like you should be able to feel good when doing it, but they don't realise how hard it actually is.
Yeah.
And it needs to be like that in the end. So yeah, it's an eye opener, but it's just part of it. And I think that's what makes it more enjoyable in the end.
Yeah, you get more. It's more of a reward at the end, isn't it? Because you've actually stuck to it and you've done it and you've not broken. It's a mental battle as well, isn't it?
That's good. What's supplements in soon or anything?
New stuff. What have we got coming? I'm still trying to get Tranquility from Glaxon, which is their sleep aid. It was the sedative, and we did get the sedative in, even though I wasn't supposed to. We did get it in for a little bit, but they've changed it now. So they've changed the formula a little bit. I think they've taken something out and added a bit more GABA in, or they've taken more GABA out and put something else in. It's one of those way round. But they've renamed it Tranquility. They've changed the flavor profile on it because it tasted like dick. So hopefully that improves it a little bit. So I'm trying to get that in, but it's been very difficult because the UK, we're not allowed to have nice things.
Not like America or anywhere like that.
Yeah, not like America or anywhere else. The UK were just fucking shit at getting good stuff in. So I'm still working on that. We've got someone else. Yeah, HR Labs is doing some new stuff. He's doing a pump / health / sexual performance product.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty much like taking a fucking Cialis by the looks of the formula.
I mean, HR Labs are quite adapted their supplements to performance enhanced athletes, haven't they? So
yeah, they focus a lot on the guys that are pushing things a little bit harder, should we say, than anyone else. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's almost like if you heard of Systol Max from Strom, it's the blood pressure one. So technically, the ingredients in it should improve your blood pressure, which if you're on cycle, a lot of people will know it's going to go up. Especially if you're running like an ore like Oxys or something like that, it's getting up there. You should also get a pump, so your training is going to benefit from it, and it should also improve your heart health, which is and it can also give you a boner or improve your boners. So it's a hell of a product. I think he's calling it Ride On, which is
Right.
just genius.
Okay.
So as soon as he launches that, I know he said there was a delay on getting some of the ingredients in. I'm actually getting him on the podcast soon. He's just bought himself a microphone so he can do it with us. So yeah, he's going to nerd out about that a little bit. But yeah, that's going to be a pretty big product to get in. He's just done his basic version of carbs as well, like the affordable version of Level Up. So we'll be getting that in. I think that's all that's new at the minute. There's not a great deal else that's kind of taken my eye. I know Naughty Boy have dropped a couple of different products.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're few and far between. They're quite similar to other products that we've already got.
I think
drip tablets.
The products aren't actually that different between each product, if you get me. It's like some of the products you might use for, like, say, for example, is it Hydrate, one of them? Is that right? I think there's a lot of stuff in that's in some of the pre-workouts as well, isn't there? So they've sort of crossing over with a lot of the products. So I suppose, like, if you want to get something that's got a different benefit, you need to make sure the nutritional profile is quite different on the back of it as well.
Yeah. You know what? Naughty Boy are really good on some things, and then on other things you think you probably didn't need to drop that. I mean, it looks fucking gangster, but you maybe didn't need to.
In the package.
Yeah. Like they try and there's a lot of things in the industry. I'm not just singling out Naughty Boy. Like, a lot of people do it. Like, they'll put things just obviously to market their product because they want to sell their product, but it's things like when you add estrogen to creatine product. Creatine's already pretty bioavailable. I stole this actually from our educator Lucy. She left me a voice note, and I'm stealing her completely. So I'm going to give her full credit for it because it makes me sound smarter than I am. Basically, it's already very bioavailable. It's already easily digestible and absorbable. So adding estrogen to it, not actually going to help it absorb any faster, but a lot of companies will do that. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. Everyone knows.
No one knows. And, you know, don't come at me. Come at Lucy. She said it. But yeah, there's always little things like that in the industry that you think, I know why you're doing it. Obviously, we're all in this game to, you know, sell products and make profit at the end of the day. That's why we're doing it. But certain things, don't just do it for the gimmick. Do it because it's going to help someone improve. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I want people to get from supplements. I want them to actually fucking get something from it rather than me just getting their money. I obviously want your money, but I want you to see the benefits from what you've bought. I don't want you just to buy shit. Like, if you wanted to buy shit, I'd send you to B&M to buy some fucking USN. Fuck you, USN. I don't care. Come at me.
That's it. There's a few brands out there that I would probably stay away from. But sometimes some of them ones, like your My Proteins and stuff like that, they're affordable, and for the average gym goer, they probably do what they need.
Definitely, yeah. I will always say, don't put yourself out of pocket just to get the latest supplement or to get the most popular brand or whatever. Certain ones I would still try and avoid. The ones with the worst press, like bulk powders. The start of 2020 or end of 2019, I know they got sued for like $1 million for making like false claims about certain things. So if they've got a bit of bad publicity about them, there's always a reason for that. It's not just because, you know, there's no smoke without fire in the supplement industry. If somebody's getting sued for however much, there's a reason for that. It doesn't mean all the products are going to be shit, but it certainly means that you need to be wary because you don't know what's going to be of quality and what's not. Similar sort of case for things like My Protein. I know it is affordable and it's not going to kill you by any means. And like the proper basic compounds that they do, like the creatine and the glutamine and stuff, it's a lot more affordable than other stuff.
I think like the average person, like, if it was me, I would send them there to get the basics, because the average gym goer is not going to need like cyclodextrin and everything like that. So I'd say, you know, your ice ways and your vitamins and stuff. If you're not affordability, obviously I know the concentration of like the minerals aren't as good as, like, say, Support Max and Strom Sports.
It's better than having nothing, but at the same time, it's affordable for them still, so they're not putting themselves out of pocket. So it's better than not taking it at all, but it's not quite as good as taking the more expensive.
On the flip side, like, if someone asked me about that and I said, right, you could either get it cheaper at My Protein, or you could go to Lumberjacks and get like, you know, their stuff. But I always say, like, if you're putting it into your body, surely you want the best.
Yeah.
Not some, you know, something that's got some fillers in, or something. You ask for vitamin C and you're getting something else of it. You just want vitamin C, don't you? So
Yeah.
you know, quality rather than quantity. And sometimes products from, say, Strom Sports, you get the Sport Max, you think it's going to be a massive bottle, but it's not. But the quality per tablet is unbelievable compared to the quality of a different tablet from a different brand. So sometimes that saves you money in the long term, because you'll end up spending more to get what you need from it anyway. So yeah, I think that's what, when I first started trading, that's, if I knew that, I would have always paid for quality. I used to have loads of supplements, like loads of different pre-workouts. I think, oh, it's great because I can have all these different things, but really weren't doing much for me. So I'd rather have less but better quality and know what they're actually. So yeah, I think I definitely. Yeah, I think someone new into it, just, you know, maybe go to somewhere like that. But if you're serious about making progression and you're serious about your health and stuff, then you pay for the better stuff.
Yeah, definitely. The way I see it is, you need to be conscious about what you're putting in your body. Like, you're not going to go buy, bit of a weird example, you won't eat 4-day-old chicken. Do you know what I mean? You won't buy chicken that's out of date, cook it and go, smells funny, that. I fucking eat it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So why would you put something in your body that you're not 100% sure about? Do you know what I mean? And if you're not 100% sure about it, by all means, ask someone that knows. You know, we've got 3 educators now that, you know, they've got PhDs, they've got masters, they've got all of the knowledge that will be able to help you make a decision without you blindly going, yeah, that'll do, I'll try that. Because sometimes that's not going to benefit you. And if it's not going to benefit you, why are you going to waste your money on it? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. I think that's a lot of products on the market now, though, isn't it? Like, what the actual benefit is, there's nothing really. You're paying, you know, a decent amount for it. So
yeah, you paid for a can of Monster, essentially.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Nice.
I do enjoy a can of Monster, though. I'm not going to slag off Monster too much.
I've had it for a while now.
And that first one you have, if you have an ice cold can of Monster, that first sip, you're going to be like, yes.
It goes in my mouth.
Yes, this is amazing. I don't think I've got any more questions for you at the minute, mate. I think that's kind of wrapped up sort of what we wanted to talk about. So we've kind of covered your prep and what's next. And we're going to catch up with you again, possibly a week before your first show, if you've got the time.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we'll chat about how much deeper you've delved into prep and see if we've got the brain capacity to do a podcast.
Let's have a new topic.
Sound. And then we'll probably get you on again once you've done your show, and then we can talk about how your first classic show was. That'd be quite good.
Definitely. That should be good. I'm pretty sure. Well, to be fair, I don't know if other Lumberjacks athletes will know, but do they stream the Two Bros if you can't watch?
I think they will be doing at this point, yeah, because, I mean, I don't know what, everything's supposed to be open by that point, but whether it is or not, we're not sure.
9th of May, so it's literally, I think it's the 17th where spectators are allowed, so like all the shows after the 17th will be. I have a gut feeling, I hope it doesn't, because it won't be that bad, but I could imagine them pushing it back just to after the 17th so spectators can go. Yeah,
possibly. I know it was Two Bros where they changed the date of the British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
James Hollis had one. They pushed that just so that they could get people in and get it done just before that extra lockdown hit.
Yeah.
So I know they're not opposed to changing show dates to make sure that spectators can get in and make sure that people can actually compete. But hopefully, fingers crossed, if things are actually moving towards the light by that point, it might not be as bad. And they may not feel the need to move it.
Just like, I think it literally would be just over a week if it was to get into that 17th of May bracket. It wouldn't be the end of the world. I think it's just, you have your sort of structure for the rest of the prep, and then for somebody to get changed last minute, it's not like detrimental, but you don't want to be flat.
The thing is, if you've been dieting for 15, 16 weeks, and they're like, you've got another week.
Yeah.
And you've planned everything around it being this date, and then there's an extra 7 days for you then to have to account for.
Yeah,
it's more of a mental thing, isn't it? It probably won't affect your physique too much in those 7 days unless you sincerely fuck it up. But the mental thing of it, like, I'm supposed to be on stage right now, I'm not.
Yeah, that's
like, what if I get on stage in a week and I'm not where I was right now? Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Like you don't you're peaking for a specific time, aren't you? So my first show, I came in pretty much to the day. So
Yeah.
I suppose it won't. For me, it won't be bad, but for some people that are quite flat and really depleted at that point, and then they got to push it another week, it's not ideal.
With it being because it's a first timers one, with a beginners one, isn't it? Nearly a first timers one. There'll be a lot of people that, even though they've got coaching that, it'll be their first experience of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So it'll be a case of like they may not know what to expect. So they've done it, they've peaked, and they've done everything right. And then it's like, yeah, you got 7 days.
Yeah, and they can do it last minute, can't they? Because I was watching.
Yeah, things do happen.
Is it Bob Waterhouse? Is it someone like that? He won the two. He is. I think it was the day before, 2 or 3 days before, he got told it was getting moved like another 3 days forwards, and he's obviously that's around your carb up time, so fucks with that a little bit.
Yeah, it depends on sort of what your coach gives you to do and stuff like that. Some people do peak, some people don't even bother with the peak; they just come into it. It's dependent on that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, we'll be in to watch you, and if we are, we'll try and live stream it ourselves if we're allowed. I don't know. Yeah. There'll be some kind of law against that, won't there? There'll be some kind of like recording. I know we can probably get footage of you on stage. I don't think we'll be able to live stream it, but
I don't know. I really don't. I know PCA like it, like when you live stream and tag them, and they prefer that. I don't know about Two Bros.
I think it depends, because obviously, if they are having their own live stream, that'll be like a pay-per-view. So then, obviously, if you're live streaming it, then you'd be taking away from their profits from the live stream. And if they can't have people in to spectate, that's their ticket money that they're missing out on, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess it depends on whether people will be allowed in or not.
Yeah, I think if that's first show, you're only allowed to pay for your coach to go backstage. You've got to pay like an insurance fee.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've got 3 of my clients who I'm coaching for that same show. I'll obviously already be there anyway. So.
So they'll not have to pay that then, will they?
If they've had to pay it, they've been able to split it between all 3 of them.
Right.
Not too bad, really. Yeah, it should be a good day.
Team Aquaman.
I know.
Yeah.
Because I can't take any spectators, I'll just take my clients instead.
I like your style, mate. I like your style. Well, if you win and there's a trophy and we don't like the trophy, we'll replace it with a trident. Let's get you a trident.
Definitely. Best be a trident.
Yeah, that's the way. Right, bro. I'm gonna shoot off.
No worries.
It's been a pleasure having you on. We'll get you on again soon.
Yeah, no worries. It's good.
Cheers, buddy.
Later.